Welcome back, it's me Lou. For today's video we are going to focus on a special custom action figure that I made. Alright, so what we have here is the recently released Marvel Legends X-Men Siren action figure. This belongs to the Bone Breaker Build-A-Figure wave. It's a great representation of the popular X-Men, X-Force character, Siren. The one thing I like about this figure is her uniform. It's green and yellow, and there's a lot of female X-Men characters that actually sport the green and yellow. One that comes to mind is the X-Men character Rogue. Another one is Jean Grey. And another character that I really want a modern, updated action figure for is the X-Men character Hope. Hope is the adopted daughter of Cable, and she's very relevant right now in the X-Men comic books. And I always felt that this Siren figure would be a great base body for a custom. Here is an image of Hope. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the character, it's Cable's adopted daughter. She wears a green uniform. There's some yellow highlights. She kind of wears this, like, I don't know, dusty old, like, cape or, like, I don't know, poncho. She's always carrying around big guns like her dad. And she's decked out with some body armor. So even though, you know, the design isn't a match on this figure, I feel like the color scheme is enough to use this as a base and to create this character as an action figure. But we did receive Hope many years ago. So for those of you who are new to collecting Marvel Legends, this figure came out, I can't remember when. This was years ago. And this was on the older female body. The articulation scheme on this was terrible, especially around the legs. It really pulled a page from, like, Toy Biz's old female body designs, and I think Hasbro, for the most part, when they got the license for Marvel, and when they wanted to make their own Marvel Legends, I kind of feel like maybe they just wanted to kind of continue what Toy Biz was doing. So the figure design, especially the articulation, kind of remained the same. And as you can see here, this version of the Hope is pretty accurate to the illustration I showed you earlier. She's sporting the same uniform. She has the large gun, the kind of like poncho or cape, and the body armor. So for me, taking this figure as a base and creating this seems very doable. It's just a question of finding the right parts. So I went digging around through my parts bin and some extra, bins and boxes I have of like accessories. And if you saw a few videos back, I actually did buy a second copy of this figure that didn't have the head. Someone stole the head at the store or whatever. And I started working on a custom, and this custom was actually pretty easy. I did this in a couple of hours. Here is my custom Hope action figure. So I took the Siren figure right here, made some changes, and I recreated Hope from the X-Men. Let's take a look at her up close. So here is my Hope figure. And like I say, for a lot of my customs, this is not like a one-to-one accurate rendition of what you see in the comic book. This is more so like an approximation. This is as close as I can get using the pieces I have in my collection and just my skill set. So there she is. Here's the comic book one, and here's mine. So it was important for me to hit all the important key points in the costume. I have the brown kind of like poncho or cape. She has the big gun. As you can see here, Hope has a harness or belt with the X-Men logo on it. And then here's mine. I have the X-Men logo or badge on the belt. I added some straps onto her legs, much like the comic book one. And then I armored up her boots, like here. So you can kind of see the differences between the two figures up close and the changes I made. You know, starting from the legs, you can see the updated boots, the straps on the thighs, the holster with the gun, the belt, or the belt's plural, around the waist, and then the poncho. And then here's the look at the poncho on the back. And then she's sporting the large gun. Alright, let's talk about this figure up close and examine the changes a little bit more closely. Alright, so the first thing I did was swap out the head. The head here, I believe, is a Marvel Legends Stepford Cuckoo head. The Stepford Cuckoos, I think it was a Walgreens exclusive. And I think it came with 2 or 3 additional heads, and then I used the red-headed one. The red-headed one had white eyes with like pink highlights to kind of like convey like psychic energy. For me, I just colored her eyes green and gave them black pupils. The poncho here, I think it's from a Star Wars Black Series Kylo Ren. As you can see, I kind of like dry brushed brown over the black. I didn't color it completely brown because I kind of wanted to leave some of the black underneath to give it a little bit more detail, but it's also kind of reminiscent of the kind of paint style you'd find like on an older McFarlane figure or an older Marvel Legends made by Toy Biz. And the cape fits pretty well when it's draped over her shoulders. It's not too tight. It's a little loose fitting, much like the cape or the poncho in the comic book. The gun here, I believe, is, I want to say Marvel Legends, I think. It might be Marvel Legends or G.I. Joe Classified series. It's very science fiction-like. In Cable and Hope, they always carried around large guns that kind of were like boxy and rectangle in shape. So this kind of continues that motif. The belt buckle, or the belt here, is actually taken from a G.I. Joe Classified series, either Duke or Flint. And then I just painted the X-Men badge on the lower buckle. The holster here, again, I think this might be from a G.I. Joe Classified series. It might be Snake Eyes, actually. Snake Eyes, I think. And then this is a Marvel Legends pistol. It's kind of sci-fi in design, so it kind of fits in well with Hope, you know, seeing as how she time travels with her dad. So there's that. We have the harnesses. I believe these are taken from a Marvel Legends Black Widow. And then the boots here, these are shin guards taken from a G.I. Joe Classified series Duke action figure. And I just painted yellow on the lower highlight just to kind of like tie it in together with the yellow feet. So this is my Hope Marvel Legends X-Men action figure. And let's examine her a little bit closer one last time. So here's her head with her poncho. There's her with her gun. And she still retains all the articulation. There was no compromise. You know, it's very simple. Nothing about this custom was really complex. It's more so just taking pieces from other action figures or stuff I had left over and just like cutting it to fit and just like pretty much just super gluing it to the figure and then just applying a nice paint job. And like I always say, I want my action figures to look very stock. You know, I don't want it to look like, you know, like a handcrafted custom. I want it to look like something that you actually bought in the store. So for me, it's always important to make sure that my customs are very clean and professional looking. So yeah, this is my custom Marvel Legends X-Men Hope action figure. And let's take out the original figure I used and the photo used as kind of like my guide. Alright. Alright, so let's wrap this video up. But before I do, I just want to say real quick, I say this at the end of all my custom videos. If you've never done a custom action figure before, it's something I encourage you to try even just once. Find a character, from a movie or a video game or from a comic book, and if they don't make an action figure of it, take on the challenge yourself and see if you can actually make an action figure. It's a very rewarding experience. And, it's a chance for you to create something special, a chance for you to create, that's something that's just a one of one. And if you're really good at it, you can even make some money on the side. There are a lot of people out there that do commission work. And if you're really good, you can actually make a pretty penny doing customs. Alright, so with that being said, once again, my name is Lou. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning subscriber or viewer, thank you so much for your continued support. So until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, and most importantly, be happy. And I'll see you at the next one. Alright, later.